Are you ready to hoist the colors? Now, time for the most in-depth look at the world of ECU athletics. Welcome in to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Now, here's your host, Stephen Igo.
All right, welcome in. Hoist the Colors on this Monday, March 4th edition of the program. As always, on Mondays during baseball season, it is going to be a baseball-heavy edition of the show. We are scheduled to be joined by a couple of Pirate players, ECU seniors Carter Cunningham and catcher Justin Wilcoxen. Both those guys had multi-homer days on Sunday as East Carolina unfortunately falls to Southeastern Louisiana in a high-scoring 11-9 contest, and ECU goes 2-1 in the Keith LeClaire Classic. We will talk about that. We will talk about the week that was total in baseball. We'll look ahead with Carter Cunningham, Justin Wilcoxen. They have a meeting over with ECU baseball campus, so we'll await their arrival. Philip Pilkington is producing today. And Philip, it was a busy weekend in 94.3 The Game studios. Lots going on. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm a little bit tired, not going to lie. It was a long weekend, like you said, here in the studios, as well as had to handle some softball duties. But overall, it was a successful weekend. I know we didn't get as many wins as we wanted, but it's always good when the Keith LeClaire Classic is here, and it was, for the most part, uninterrupted by weather. Had to move some things around, but a great turnout from the crowd, especially both on Saturday and Sunday. Almost a regional-type atmosphere Sunday, maybe not quite to that level, but a great crowd. It was very electric, even when the Pirates were down by, I think at one time it was 6 runs, and the crowd was still in it. So props to Pirate Nation, and hopefully we can get a bounce-back game tomorrow against VCU.
No doubt. Scheduled for Tuesday, Wednesday, a 2-game series against VCU in the midweek. It is spring break on campus this week, so ECU going with the 2-game midweek. Of course, there is weather in the forecast for Wednesday. We'll see if that game is played, but scheduled to go Tuesday and Wednesday against the VCU Rams, and then Pirates will travel to Liberty for their first true road weekend series of the season this coming weekend. We did talk to Cliff Godwin earlier. That interview with Patrick Johnson and I and Cliff Godwin will air at his Patrick Johnson's show at 5 o'clock. We also have it on YouTube at on the 94.3 The Game YouTube page. You can view it there in its entirety. It went about 20 to 22 minutes or so. And he did say Chris Kaler will start on Tuesday against VCU, and then they'll figure it out from there from a pitching perspective. So, again, check out that full interview anytime on YouTube. All right, we'll talk some baseball. I got some numbers to run on where ECU is right now. 11 games into the season. We'll get into that in a little bit. But we got to talk some hoops as well. It has been a disappointing stretch, and Philip and I will go back and forth here. Again, YouTube, Facebook, if you want to drop a comment. We'll also have Kason Rameli join us, our Hoist the Colors basketball insider, on Tuesday's show. But it's been a disappointing stretch. ECU wins 3 in a row in basketball for the first time since entering the American 2014-15. They were 2 games over 500. They had won 3 straight by double digits against the weaker part of the conference slate. Unfortunately, since then, they have lost 3 consecutive games by double digits. Starting with the Rice game a couple of weekends ago, they lose by 18. They get crushed by Memphis by 28 at home this past Thursday on national TV. They go to North Texas last night or yesterday afternoon to start a Texas road trip, and the Pirates lose 84-69. And ECU still winless against the top half of the league despite being 7-9 in conference play. They're, I think, now 7-1 against teams beneath them and 0-8 against teams in the top half of the league. And you know, it felt like, Philip, this program was starting to find some momentum under Coach Schwartz, and I still believe in what he's doing. But this has been a tough stretch, and it doesn't get any easier with SMU and Charlotte to finish out the regular season.
You know, the one perk that you can take away from this, like you said, you're beating the teams you should beat, 7-1 against teams below them in the standings. That is the first step in turning a program around. Secondly, you're right. It is extremely frustrating. And I think what it's boiled down to is streakiness, specifically offensively. When you look at the season as a whole, they'll play 3 or 4 games. The offense looks good. They'll play 3 or 4 games the offense looks bad. When you look at individual games, they will play 8 or 10 minutes where the offense looks good and 8 or 10 minutes where the offense looks bad. The defense has been pretty consistent. I know the last few games, the point totals of the opponents have led us to believe otherwise, but when you really watch the games, yes, the defense maybe has not been as dominant as they've been in the past, but when a team like North Texas yesterday shoots 13 of 28 from beyond the arc, there's only so much you can do. I thought the defense did look pretty good in the first half, not that it was terrible in the second half. So at the end of the day, it's offensive consistency. And now I will give props to Coach Schwartz. He said he was going to build a defensive first mindset. He's done that. Now, they need to be a little more consistent, but at the end of the day, it's hard to be a Tony Bennett coached Virginia team, especially when you're not in a conference such as the ACC. Now, if you're Coach Schwartz, it's time to project number 2. Build an offense around your still philosophy of defense first, which can be done, and that's something he's just going to have to do in the offseason. It's unfortunate that you can't do it in the middle of the year, but at the end of the day, as much as NIL and the portal allow guys to move, and there's been some wacky instances where guys transfer in the middle of the year, there's no trade deadline. You can't go out and get offensive players in the middle of the season. And unfortunately, it kind of just is what it is. But I think Coach Schwartz can turn this around this offseason and get this offense. Look, they've got potential. They can score. They just haven't scored at a consistent rate.
Yeah, I guess my biggest thing with basketball right now is and I get what you're saying. They have established, or at least started to establish that culture, until the last 2 games, the defense was playing from a point production standpoint, some of the best ball in the conference. But now it's Philip, I look at that. Again, we're looking ahead to the offseason kind of big picture here. They still have 2 games left in the regular season. We'll see what happens from there. But, big picture, I just don't know where they go this offseason. It's hard to project what's going to be coming back, who's going to go, and how much of that culture are you really going to be able to bring back versus maybe having to start over. You look at it this time last offseason, we're all right, you're 16 and 17, most wins for ECU in several years. You got your core coming back. You should be able to take another step forward, and that just hasn't happened. They've kind of regressed, or at least, I know they have more conference wins, but the conference is weaker. They don't have the top end wins maybe they had last year. So you could argue at the best, I feel like they have leveled. So how do they take the next step? But also, I worry about taking a step back because you got to make sure you retain your key pieces. There's just a lot of unknown, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And I don't know, as you look forward, the Ezra Sarr situation has been one that's hard to put your finger on. You feel pretty good about R.J. Felton coming back for his senior year with his brother coming in. Brandon Johnson's had a heck of a year. Who knows what's going to happen with Cam Hayes, Bobby Pettiford. There's just, a lot of unknown uncertainty as we head towards the end of this season is what I'm trying to say, Philip.
I agree. And the portal giveth, and the portal taketh away. And unfortunately, to your point, Stephen, yes, it's probably going to take away 1 or 2 big pieces of this team. Maybe not, but probably. And so at the end of the day, poach somebody else's guys, and I know that's easier said than done, and I know I'm about to probably compare apples to oranges here because it's a total different sport, but look at what Shane Winkler did in the offseason with the softball team. He went out and got some offense. They're putting up run totals that they have not put up in many years, and I know it's totally different, but you're right. It's going to be tough to maintain these guys, or to retain these guys. It's going to be tough to maintain that culture when that happens. But at the end of the day, if you can find guys in the portal that can buy in to what you're doing, what your staff is doing, and be defense first, but still have some scoring, the sky is the limit, but the basement and below the basement, unfortunately, is the floor, and that's just the era of college athletics that we're living in.
All right, Christian Bateman weighs in, and he says, Pilk, he's on YouTube, he says, Pilk, UVA doesn't have offense. Don't know if we really want to be like UVA. Defense does win championships, but Brandon Johnson lacks confidence. We get the ball downhill, but we blank rim shots, is what he's saying. So basically missing layups.
True. Well, I will correct myself. When Virginia won a national championship, they had they had offense when they were successful.
Right.
They're not successful right now, but you get my point.
And, I think, too, you got to wonder, like, how many true athletes can you get at ECU that can score and defend the way Coach Schwartz wants to defend with this trapping-style defense? He's a first-time head coach. I do think there is some learning on the job here that he's going through, especially in year 2. Obviously, there was in year 1. They brought in Mark Adams, great head coach across various levels. You thought maybe that would help them take the next step. It's just, I don't know, something about this year, Philip, just feels off. I don't know if it's, we can't go inside the locker room, but it feels like when things are good with this team, it flows well, it looks good, but then when things go south, it goes south quickly, and they can't really get it back. Like these last 2 games, man, the Memphis game just got out of hand. There's been some other games where, like, when it gets out of hand, it goes quickly, and I don't know, there's something off about this year's team that I can't just put my finger on. It just feels that way looking at it from the outside looking in.
I can give you some bullet points, and now I just want to make this clear. I do not know which of these or if any of these is right, and I do not trying to call out players or coaches or anything like that. But this can be one of a handful of things. Heart. When you've got no heart and the going gets tough, you don't bounce back. It could be passion. When do you really care about winning, or are you just here to play? And, I don't know. Like you said, we're not in the locker room. And then there is just the fact that is the roster constructed to be successful? And it could be one of something that's not those 3. There's just 3 that come to mind. And not saying the players aren't good, but basketball, maybe second to behind football, where the roster really has to be constructed to run the same type of game plan offensively and defensively, and for the guys to mesh and for there to be flow. And maybe that's it. Maybe it's a little roster construction. Maybe it's all 3. Maybe it's something totally different. But like you said, we're not in the locker room. But one of those things or something else, you're right, 100% is off. I don't know. Can't put my finger on it either. It's frustrating because it seems like on paper this is the most talented, basketball team ECU's probably had in at least a decade.
Could be a combination of all 3 too, in some form. It's just been a weird year, and there's been some highs. There's definitely been some lows. ECU going through that now. They're going to be underdogs in their next 2 games. They stay on the road at SMU on Wednesday. They come back and face Charlotte Saturday. And then they got to go back to Texas. This whole schedule is a joke. ECU goes to UTSA, home. Then they go to Rice, back home. Then they go on this Texas road trip, North Texas, SMU, back home. And then they get to go back to Texas for the 4th time in a month for the conference tournament. Like, what are we doing, American Athletic Conference?
Well, and we've already been to Wichita before any of those Texas trips. And, Kansas is pretty much Texas. What do you think about travel?
Yeah, when you're sending a team from East Carolina to Texas 4 times in a month and whatever, man.
But UCLA is joining the same conference as Rutgers and Maryland,
But I'm sure the ACC and the Big Ten, when they schedule this out, they're not sending Stanford and UCLA to the East Coast, 4 times in the span of a month or 2. I don't know. It's just crazy. All right, Christian Bateman says we need bigs. The problem is we have no posts. We are a guard-led team, so if we get the ball downhill, we are running the trees. I do think with Schwartz's system, he has always said, and he said at Tennessee they had a big who kind of was the rim protector, and that was kind of I don't want to say the focal point, but a key piece of the defense. Like, you trap on the perimeter, and then if they do get the ball in the paint, you've got that guy to clean up inside. ECU just doesn't have that now. They do have Sear Malonga, who has that potential, but he's a freshman. He could develop into that guy. But, it would have been nice if they could have gone into the portal and found a proven big last year or this past offseason had that guy this year. Because it does feel like, Philip, that when they do have breakdowns defensively, they are giving up too many easy shots right at the rim without that rim protector.
I agree, but the hardest thing to find is a big in the portal when you're a team like ECU.
Doubt. Without NIL money.
Yeah. If you're a small-town team guard, you might bump up to an ECU. But if you're a small-town team big or mid-major, you can go to the Power 5. There's not that many good bigs. there's a lot of good guards, and unfortunately, we're in a tough spot. We almost have to develop internally, and then let them get poached, and then just have a guy behind them. That's probably best case scenario.
All right, we'll get more into basketball tomorrow with Case and Romali. Again, we're waiting. Carter Cunningham, Justin Wilcoxen, they just get out of a meeting. They're making their way over, so we'll get them on here shortly. Let's talk some baseball. You touched on it a little bit, Philip, but the Keith LeClaire Classic, always just a tremendous weekend for baseball. And I thought Saturday's game against Cal State Fullerton was just an amazing baseball game. I did cover that one. I also took my son out there, 2-year-old son, to the jungle Friday and Sunday. So enjoyed attending the game, both as a spectator and as a media member this weekend. So enjoyed that. Yesterday we've talked a lot about it. We talked about it with Cliff Calvin earlier. They're just still trying to figure out, I think, some roles in that bullpen. And Danny Bills is going to bounce back. He's going to be a key guy. And, he was utilized a lot last year, and maybe he's still trying to find some things early this season. But I keep getting asked, hey, are we worried about the bullpen yet? When do we start to worry? I think it's fair to have a little bit of cause for concern, but Cliff Godwin said today they're going to figure it out. And I think the more games they play, the more growing pains they go through, the more they'll kind of learn about what fits each of these guys the best. And eventually I do think we'll see this team kind of right itself on the back end. Your thoughts on the bullpen thus far?
The issue has kind of been big innings. And the big reason they've let a lot of big innings is we don't know who the guy is who's going to come in and inherit base runners, one out, guy on second and third, go get me a strikeout. I think Jackson DeLorenzo, Ethan Norby, Danny Beal are all three guys you can say, hey, here's the baseball, one-run game, go get me 3 outs. I don't know if those guys can get you more than 3, but hey, if you've got 2 setup guys and a closer that can get you 3 outs in a one-run game, that's great. Who's the replacement for Carter Spivey? We don't know. That is the area that needs to concern Pirate fans. Other than that, I think we're good. I really do. I like these guys. There's a few other guys I didn't name that can also be, 3-out kind of guys. Obviously, Wyatt Lunsford-Chinkman is a 6 to 12-out kind of guy. But who's the high-leverage guy? And you have to have that to be successful, especially in June.
Yeah, and you got a ton of lefties that they, I think 4 lefties now. Ethan Norby out of the pen, Corey Costello, the freshman, Aaron Groller, and I believe Eric Ritchie as well. So you got left-handers, and I feel like it's just one of those deals where, Eric Ritchie I think will also be better. They just kind of have to figure out who fits where, and that'll come with time. So, again, ECU baseball, historically under Cliff Godwin, I feel like does not hit its peak. And a lot of college baseball teams are probably this way just because you don't have set roles so early in the season, but historically hits its peak around late March, early April, or around this time. I would say, they've had some losses in the Keith LeClaire Classic in recent years, and then they turned it on a week or two later, and hopefully for ECU's sake, we kind of see that. And they're still 7-4 against a very tough schedule, so it's not like they're playing bad by any stretch of the imagination. They have a top 15 series win. But ECU, I ran some numbers, Philip. In 2023, the Pirates started 8-3. Again, ECU 7-4 through 11 games. 8-3, they finished 47-19, 2-seed in UVA. In 2022, they started 6-5 through 11 games, finished 46-21, and hosted as a national seed despite starting 6-5. 2021, they were 9-2. That was the best start. That year, they also hosted. They finished 44-17. And then 2019, 2018. In 2019, they started 7-4, same record they have now. They finished 47-18, hosted once again. And then 2018 started 8-3, finished 44-18, and hosted. So they've kind of been right around this record outside of 2021 when they had 9 wins through 11 games. So I feel like the hot stretch is coming. It seems they always go on that long winning streak at some point in March, April, and I'm not worried yet.
I'm not either. The interesting thing about that 2021, that was when App was the whole Keith LeClaire Classic, which is probably the weakest team we've had ever come in for this, because even I think they're weaker than some of the mid-majors like Southeast Louisiana. Look, it's baseball, right? You don't win them all. And I understand people, see the Campbell loss, see the ODE loss, and want to pull their hair out. But look, to your point, You don't win championships this early in the season. They're going to get hot. We know that. It's probably going to start this weekend. They're probably going to sweep Liberty. It's not going to be close. It's going to look like it did last year. And then, we do have to go to Wilmington. That might be a loss just because we never win in Wilmington. But anyways, you come back and you've got this is the year it changes. And then we've got Columbia. They're one of the better teams in the Ivy League. But, yeah, it's coming. The Bats are hot. They're just maybe not consistent. You have a couple down games here and there, but hey, man, it's early in the season, and Coach Godwin's struggling to put a lineup together. Not from the fact that he doesn't have 9 guys. The problem is he's got 13 guys, and he's trying to figure out who to eliminate each day to not put in there and start. So this lineup's going to get going, and I think everything's going to be okay.
All right, ECU, by the way, stays ranked 11th in the D1 baseball poll. I think no changes at all in the top 14 of that poll, and also stays at 15 in Baseball America. All right, let's get a break in. Again, we'll be joined by Carter Cunningham, Justin Wilcoxen here shortly. They're making their way over from a meeting. This is Hoist the Colors on a Monday. We will be right back.
It's time to get more in 24 at Greenville Toyota. More savings, more selection, more for your trade. Get new Camrys, $269 a month, or new RAV4s, $299 a month. Save big and get more in 24 at Greenville Toyota.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you farm to fork beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to fork beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Hey, grab me one too.
When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place, and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Get more in 24 at Greenville Toyota. Get more savings on our huge Toyota selection. Shop new Corollas just $239 a month, or new Tundras with 3.99% financing. Get more for your trade. Save big and get more in 24 at Greenville Toyota. Here there be pirates. Back to Hoist the Colors with Steve and I Go. How good is this on 94.3 The Game?
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors on this Monday, March 4th edition of the program. We got Carter Cunningham, ECU outfielder / first baseman, in studio. Justin Wilcoxen on his way over. He's going to join us here shortly. Carter, how's it going, man?
Good. How about you?
Doing good. And two guys, multi-home run days on Sunday joining us. So that I know. Obviously, y'all didn't get the win, which is 100% the most important thing. But multi-home run day, pretty fun, at least from a hitting perspective.
Yeah, from a hitting perspective, certainly. And it was I thought it was good for J-Dub to get those two as well as he walks in here. What's up, J-Dub?
Hey, this is what it's all about. What's going on, Justin?
What's up? How's it going?
Yeah, so I just asked Carter about the multi-home run day. It had to feel pretty again. No win, which we'll get into, but got to feel pretty good to see two long balls lead the park, right?
Yeah, for sure. Of course, Carter had to match me, so
No,
right.
I went first.
Definitely. Yeah.
And then you went second.
Okay.
So you matched me.
No, but it felt good to match up with Carter, I guess.
Yeah. So you had two-run homers, or
I think it was 2 runs.
Okay. I was chasing my 2-year-old in the jungle, so I was like, I had my interns covering, so I was kind of like in and out of the games. But and you had the solos, right? Or do you have a 2-run homer too?
I think they were solos.
Okay. Well, awesome. Carter Cunningham, Justin Wilcoxen in studio with us. And big week ahead, guys. We'll talk about that. But Keith LeClaire Classic. Let's first talk about just how much it means to y'all to participate in an event that means so much to ECU baseball fans and everything. We'll start with Carter, just the Keith LeClaire legacy. What does kind of that mean to you?
I think you look at like all of the alum that come back for it. Like I know a lot of Coach Godwin's teammates were there. Plenty of people that I had played with were there. It's a testament to the legacy that he left for sure. And like you said, I'm just blessed and honored to be a part of it because I know that without him and the platform that God had gave him, it wouldn't exist. So I'm just grateful to be there. It's a special weekend.
And Justin, you've been here a while as well. What does it kind of mean to you? I know you've heard a lot about the LeClaire story over time. What can you kind of say about it?
Yeah, I agree with Carter. It's good to see all the alums coming back and really playing for those guys. But it was also awesome to see Coach LeClaire's family throwing out the first pitch pretty much every year. I think it's really a great story to remember for ECU baseball, and I think we wear those jerseys proud, and we all play with 23, which I think is amazing. So.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, how do you guys feel like the week went? I know 2-2. I know y'all wanted more wins, but y'all competed till the end in every game. And Cliff Godwin said earlier when he joined us, it's one of those deals where you are going to get everybody's best shot. So how would you kind of assess 2-2 weeks, 7-4, 11 games in thus far?
Yeah, we certainly did get everyone's best shot this week, which is only going to make us better come playoff time because once playoff time rolls around, everyone's playing their best baseball. So I think you look at the LeClaire Classic and those three teams that joined us, like they're just trying to beat us. Like that's their goal is to win the one game against East Carolina, and they certainly tried to do that this weekend. So it was good for us to just have that level of competition, and we got to play some different kinds of ball games, which was good for us.
Justin, early in the season, you guys trying to figure out, especially as a catcher, help some of the guys in the bullpen figure out roles. How would you kind of assess how you and the coaching staff are working with some of those guys to get them comfortable as y'all try to ramp up more arms early on?
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think to Carter's point, I mean, we've played a lot of one-run ball games, so we're definitely right there in the mix with every game we've lost or whatever. But it comes down to either kind of the bottom of our lineup picking up some of the slack. That includes myself and then those bullpen guys, the depth in our bullpen, which is going to be a strong point for our team. And I think just some of those guys have kind of been kind of uncharacteristic of themselves, maybe trying to force the issue just like I have at the plate for the beginning of the year. But I mean, just have those guys go out there and be themselves and really believe in themselves. That's the biggest thing, and we talked about it in our meeting today with the team. So,
yeah, and it's one of those things like watching the games. Y'all have talent back there and options. It's not like the guys aren't capable. So it's just how much of this, Justin, you feel like is the early season, just guys maybe shaking off the rust or just getting comfortable in their roles?
Yeah, I think it's just guys getting comfortable. It takes time, and it's just a mentality thing. Like everyone's stuff is still so good. Like all these guys are so talented. It's literally just how they prepare themselves mentally to go in the game and execute.
Carter Cunningham, Justin Wilcoxen with us. And I asked Coach earlier, Carter, about, you've told the story. You wake up believing you're the best hitter in the world. And but he said that mentality helps you, and he wants to see kind of more guys, if possible, take on a similar mentality. Like that belief means a lot. So walk us through maybe you, like when you had that mentality flip change, and like to say it's one thing, but believe in it, and maybe seeing that play out is probably different too.
Yeah, we talked about it today in the meeting, but there was a midweek game last season where Coach Godwin was actually expecting me to strike out because they had a right-handed pitcher on the mound throwing mid-90s that had a good fastball, and throughout the course of my career here, I couldn't hit a good fastball. And that's kind of like, yeah, you just got to believe that you can do it, because if you don't believe you can do it, then the coaches won't. Nobody will in general. But I think back to last season, our first conference series was we opened up at Cincinnati. I didn't start a single game. That's almost halfway through the season. And it's just like a testament to the belief that you have to have in yourself. I think a lot of people may see me now and sort of expect me to be good. But halfway through last year, I wasn't anybody like an impact player. I just changed and woke up every morning and told myself I was a good player. That's it.
And it's worked out pretty good. And in that, obviously the success helps, but even when you strike out, you still got to have that belief, because it's baseball, man. It's a game of failure, right?
It's something that's truly like helped me as I've grown in my faith and my walk with God. Is like in JC's. I've gotten JC on this train now too, but it's scripted. Like he knows what's going to happen. He knows if you're going to strike out. He knows if you're going to hit a home run, and that keeps me level. And I think that the more guys can kind of pick up on like the ebbs and flows and just remain even keel, and know the fact that God has ordained your path before it's already set out. That's just what's keeping me level-headed, whether good or bad.
All right, he's Carter Cunningham, Justin Wilcoxen with us. Let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll continue on, and we'll talk about what you're doing with the Children's Hospital as well, because that's awesome, and you're hitting some homers that you're having to contribute some money yourself. So we'll get into that on the other side. Justin also contributing to the calls yesterday with two solo shots. So we'll get into that and more. This is Hoist the Colors on a Monday.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Fifth Street Hardware is the home of the $9 lunch special Tuesday through Fridays. $9 specials every day, including the famous Burger Day on Tuesdays, Flatbread Pizza Wednesday, the famous Fifth Street Hardware Reuben on Thursday, and fried fish or shrimp on Friday. Plus trivia on Wednesday nights and live music every Thursday nights. And the Prime Rib Brunch Buffet has returned on Sundays. You heard that right. The Brunch Buffet with all the great items, including prime rib. Fifth Street Hardware in downtown Greenville.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color. not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's cut and color. And let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Back to Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo.
Drink up me hearty yo-ho.
On 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome in. Welcome back in to Hoist the Colors on this Monday. We had an echo going on. Hopefully we figured it out, but let us know, and we'll keep trying to work out the technical difficulties. All right, Carter Cunningham, Justin Wilcoxen, two senior ECU baseball players in studio with us, coming off the Keith LeClaire Classic, and it is spring break, guys. So I don't know if that means a whole lot when you are playing 5 baseball games, but how does the schedule change this week, Justin, if anything?
I mean, today was off day, so we just had lift. Guys are going to get their work in, hitting-wise. Pitchers are going to get their throwing in and get any treatment we need. But then basically for the rest of the week, it's go time. It's all about winning games. Thursday, I'm sure we'll lift and practice before Liberty, and then we'll get ready for that weekend. But it's a lot of baseball this week, which is it's a good way to spend spring break.
Right. Y'all don't really get a spring break. Y'all just get more baseball, which I guess as the baseball player, you're used to it now as is Carter, so you just deal with it. Carter, let's talk about, too, what you're doing, man. I know you're about to head over to the Children's Hospital here shortly after this. And is it Homers That Help?
Homers That Help.
Homers That Help. You put out the call on social media a little bit, I think, a week or two before the season, and it was just, filled up immediately.
Yeah,
so, walk us through, man, just how that process has gone, and if anybody still wants to give to it, too, how they can do that.
If you want to give, there's a link in my bio on, I think it's I don't think I put it in my Twitter bio, but my Instagram bio for sure. Obviously, there's, 2 funds. Fund A was for the game sponsors, which filled up like that, so that's basically shut down, I guess you could say. But Fund B was for the just people that want to donate, and that's going to be going throughout the season. That's the one that I'm contributing to for every home run that I hit. I'm doing $25. But you could also text Homers in all caps to 51555 if anyone wants to match me or match J-Dub's home run total or whoever you want to pick. But that's been incredible. I'm just super thankful for the Greenville community. I think we're closing in on $10,000. Was this 3 weeks into the season? So yeah. I have a goal of $25,000 first year, and I have plenty of ideas left for it that I want to make better. I don't want this to be a 1-year thing. I'll be gone next year, obviously, but I'm looking for a younger guy to step up and kind of take the reins, and this is something that the players and the fans can look forward to down the road. But here shortly I'll be heading over there, and every other Monday, me and a couple of the guys will just go hang out with the families, hang out with the kids, and just give back. And it's by far the best part of my week.
I mean, as somebody who's a parent of 2 now, it's just awesome. I even take my son to the game. He's 2 years old, and he's screaming out, he wants to say hey to he's like, the baseball players. You guys are in a way larger than life to them. So I'm sure that has to be pretty cool to make somebody's day like that.
Yeah, and I look at it as from the perspective of we get to spend 10 minutes in a room with a family and with a child, and that 10 minutes can be their entire month, just 10 minutes of your day, and we spend maybe an hour and a half just going from room to room. And I think that God's given me the platform to do so because, like you said, they do look at us larger than life sometimes, but that's not what it's about for the guys that go over there. And for me specifically, it's just I'm not expecting anything in return other than to make somebody's day, make somebody's month. And like I said, it's the best part of my week, so I am grateful every time I get to do it.
All right, we got William Landon on YouTube. He says, "Tell Carter I will cover all the donations for long balls this week." So I guess he will contribute as well.
Sweet, thank you.
Yeah. So again, hit the link or text that number. What's the number again?
Homers. Text Homers to 51555.
Awesome. And great stuff from Carter Cunningham and all your teammates that have helped you out as well. So that'll be something to look forward to again throughout the season. Justin Wilcoxen and Carter Cunningham with us. All right, guys. So y'all had a team meeting this morning. You touched on a little bit, Justin, as far as what was kind of covered there. But like when, I don't know, coming off a Sunday loss, and I'm sure y'all are motivated every day, but are y'all itching even more to get back at it on Tuesday to kind of just get back on the field to get that taste out of your mouth?
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of guys, like I said, are going to get some work in, get some swings in for me today. But I think we always look at it as 11-game series. So we're trying to win 8 out of 3, or we're trying to go 8-3 every 11 games to get 40 wins. And then we have one bonus game or one mulligan. But we're just looking at it like a new start to the season. We're going to try to go out there and win 8 or more games in the next 11-game stretch. But, yeah, I think we're all ready to go for this week and ready to get some wins.
Cliff Godwin said earlier Chris Kaler will start tomorrow. What have you seen out of him as the George Washington transfer, and you know how much you looking forward to catching him tomorrow, seeing him maybe get into a groove?
No, I love catching Chris, especially when he's working quick and filling up the zone. I mean, that's his MO really. When he's got good pace and he can mix in his fastball located pretty much off the plate or in, and then mix in some off speed. It's always fun. It's kind of like a Cooch Maynor-esque kind of guy, but yeah, I look forward to catching him this weekend.
So Jason Dietrich, obviously coaching Cal State Fullerton this past weekend, you guys know him, and I noticed after the game Saturday, it was like I saw Saylor first off in the stands. He was having a good time, being able to go as a fan for once. But Cooch Maynor, Ryder Giles, all those guys, Landon Gim was back. Did you have a chance to catch up with any of those guys?
Yeah, when we were high-fiving, we walked through the alumni section, and I'm pretty sure somebody grabbed my jersey pretty hard. It was probably Cooch Maynor, but yeah, we got to see a couple of those guys. I'm pretty sure Ben Newton was there. He said my mom talked to him, and then I texted him yesterday, last night. But it's always nice to see those guys come back. I mean, they've all played such a huge role in a lot of the guys on our team now, and it's always important to see them.
Carter, what's it like to know, even when you're done playing here, you'll be able to come back like those guys? I mean, that has to, like the legacy, I feel like, of ECU baseball, like guys are always welcome back no matter who the coach or, even if Cliff wasn't the coach, they'd be welcome back.
Yeah.
But obviously as an alum, it's got to be pretty special to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's a brotherhood, and that's just what we go through in the fall and during the season together. It's why you come back, and then you just have 39 of your best friends in the locker room with you, and from year to year, those 39 other guys change, but the culture remains the same, and that's why those alums are able to come back.
I know you guys will take it one game at a time, but obviously 5 games in 6 days, if y'all play them all, creates a challenge. So is it, I don't know, do you try to get extra rest on a Monday like this, knowing you're going into a stretch like that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely get treatment. The guys that were out there for every game this week or this past weekend, definitely take care of your bodies. But I want to highlight the younger guys that came off the bench. And Saturday night we used a lot of our bench, and that is ECU baseball right there. And I thought the young guys did a phenomenal job coming off the bench, and it was we were able to rest some of our guys, but just the mix and match of ECU baseball can help us, and that's going to be a big part of this week, playing 5 games in 6 days.
Nathan Chrisman, kind of gets the headlines as the walk-off hero with the sac fly to deep left field on Saturday. What's it like seeing Nate, who coaches said comes in, busts his tail every day, kind of get that moment? Yeah,
that was awesome. He deserved it. He earned it. The way he does show up to practice every single day, even knowing that guys like Dixon and Joey Barini are sort of in front of him, he doesn't let that affect the way he practices and the way he shows up to the field every day. And also Colby Wallace that day had a 3-hit game. Walker Barron had a really good AB. Didn't get the result that he wanted, but you can tell like when he stepped in the box, he didn't look like a freshman. So all those guys that just show up and are ready to work every day, it was cool to see them just own and embrace the moment.
Justin, you've been able to at least get some time off from catching this year. I know you also took a day off. Came in as a sub still. Maybe weren't getting the results you wanted despite some quality at bats. Do you feel like you can, I don't know, take a step back a little bit and just kind of watch the game? Like they always say that helps a batter. Did that help you at all this weekend, you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think just not really having to really focus on pressuring myself walking up to the plate, I think was a big thing. But for a catcher, it's, hitting isn't the primary skill for a catcher. So you've always got to be ready to go in the game and catch or lead a pitching staff. So I really just like focusing on that, and then whatever comes hitting-wise is extra. But I think just not being able or not having to put that pressure on myself to go to the plate and kind of force a good AB, I think that really did help.
And catching takes a toll. Playing baseball takes a toll, but catching, you're doing some every single pitch. So, Ryan has obviously caught some Saturdays early on. How much does that maybe help your body early in the season just stay ready to go?
No, it's helped for sure, and I think it's allowed Ryan to really go out there and play free and kind of discover himself as a baseball player, especially as a catcher, because he's working with Root and they have a good relationship, and you can tell that when they are working together that it's flowing. So clearly a positive, and that's why Root's had some really good starts on Saturdays.
And you've obviously been catching Trey on Fridays, so how can you describe when he's in the zone like that? What's it like catching him?
It's pretty special. It's like, I've said it before, but he's probably the easiest guy to catch now. He used to be a nightmare for me.
He would spike balls in the dirt, right?
Yeah, it was like being a goaltender back there. But now it's just like he's still a power arm, but his pitchability skill is just off the charts now.
All right, he's Justin Wilcoxen and Carter Cunningham. We'll get our final break in. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show and let these guys go on a Monday, March 4th edition of Hoist the Colors.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport. Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Get ready for an unforgettable experience at the first annual Mid-Atlantic Hunting and Fishing Expo, happening in Greenville, North Carolina on March 23rd and 24th. Explore a wide array of exhibits showcasing the latest gear, equipment, and accessories. Discover expert tips and techniques from seasoned professionals in captivating seminars. Connect with fellow outdoorsmen and immerse yourself in the world of outdoor adventure. Mark your calendars and be part of the Mid-Atlantic Hunting and Fishing Expo.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Hey, grab me one too.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Every ECU fan's one stop for all things ECU athletics. This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment here, Hoist the Colors on this Monday, 94.3 The Game. Appreciate Justin Wilcoxen and Carter Cunningham for taking some time to stop by in between all their meetings and good stuff on this Monday. Spring break, though, so instead of class, you get radio, guys. How's that?
I'll take that any day of the week.
So Mustache March is here. Obviously, great cause for ALS. Yeah. How are the mustaches coming in? Yours looks a little
This is 23 years in the making, so you could say what you want, but whoever I play in the first round is screwed because I'm probably going to make the Final Four if I had to guess.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I might have to write a preview on your mustache matchup.
Probably a first-round exit.
And, hey, but at least you're trying, right?
I'm trying.
Justin, yours looks pretty good, I feel like.
It's all right. I think I've been a first-round exit every year, the past 4 years. So, but I think this might be the strongest one I have.
I mean, at least I can see it from here. Like, I think you can you even see Carter's from back there? That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, we got the close up on Carter now. I still don't think you can see it.
No, which camera is it? This one?
Yep.
This one right there. You see it.
Hey,
you can't see it.
I can attest that he does have some.
There is
some
stuff
facial
there.
hair.
There's stuff there.
So best on the team early in the running. Any candidates?
I don't know if anyone caught this, but Corey Costello had what's it called?
Mutton chops.
Mutton chops.
Yeah. I mean, it looked hideous, but it was like so bad that it was elite. Like and then he shaved it like the next day. I think his girlfriend got mad or something.
So I feel like if you're right, it's got to be ugly enough to where you just embrace it, and then that makes it that much better.
Yeah.
I feel like Jake Hunter's watching him pitch yesterday is pretty strong.
It is. Jake's is up there.
JJC or JC?
Yeah, JC's always got a good one.
Yeah. Because he just keeps it year-round.
Best one is probably Coach Wilson, strength coach.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say that.
This is always amazing.
Yeah.
But
is he in the actual bracket?
No, I don't think so.
So it's just players only?
Yeah. I feel like if possible, I want him to take my spot because obviously I'll be a first-round exit, but he can make a serious run.
Yeah. He might take down JC. I guess Danny Bill's got a good one going on like year-round, right?
Yeah. Beal's got one. I'm trying to think of Cayman's
our
manager.
Got a good one.
Oh, yeah.
our manager. He's got it's sort of like Jake Hunter, like handlebar going, but he's got like red hair.
Okay,
so it fires me up.
It pops even more.
Yeah.
Do any of the freshmen have any good ones going? I feel like usually it's a struggle for the freshmen.
Corey.
Yeah, Corey.
Corey is a freshman. Well,
okay.
Fun fact. We were doing some digging on his Instagram the other day because my roommate Charlie Hodges was like, how long has this guy had a mustache for? And we did the math. I think it was 8th grade, or like going into his freshman year, like he had a full beard, like just at the age of like 13. And I was like, that's not okay.
That is insane. He should have just kept it, but it is what it is. He shaved it now, so too late. All right, so a few minutes left with you guys. Obviously, again, y'all take it one game at a time, but 2 midweeks and the first road series of the year. Y'all looking forward to the challenge when that time comes of getting on the road? And I don't know, does it free your mind? Maybe that's lame to say, but like just going away from home, playing a road baseball series at all?
I think it's a good test for our team. We haven't played bad on the road, but we don't have anything to really show for it. So I think this weekend will be a good test to play 3 games there at Liberty and get our feet underneath us. And I mean, if we want to host a regional and host a super regional, you got to win on the road. So this is going to be a good weekend for us.
Justin, your thoughts on going on the road for the first time? Some of you guys have done a lot over the years, but when that time comes this weekend, you looking forward to it?
Yeah, just like Bart said, I think it'll be a good test for us. But the biggest key is going to be just keeping the routines the same as if it was a home game and really bringing our own energy, because sometimes on the road you can tell when we get out there and it's kind of like a slow start. Maybe we're not as juiced up as we would be for a home game. So really just bringing that home energy to Liberty, I think, is the key for us.
He said Bart, and I meant to ask. So Bart or Cunningham? So we were joking like one time. I think we did a graphic after a game. You went 4 for 4, and I was like, should we do Barter Bunningham instead of Carter? So when did that start?
My freshman year of high school, I walked into history class, and I was in freshman year history class, but there was a senior in there, and he was a SoundCloud rapper, and he called me Barter Bunningham. He was like, "That's your name from now on," and I didn't question it. And I had a couple buddies in the class that kind of caught onto it, and then Zach caught onto it, right. And obviously Zach and I were best friends in high school or growing up, but it kind of just took over, and now I kind of like it.
You just roll with it?
Yeah.
Got about 30 seconds left with you guys. So we are, again, 3 weeks into the season. Who do y'all feel like has the best walk-up song?
Nah, that's easy. Don't even. I mean, it's an easy question. It's me.
Yeah.
No.
It's me.
I don't know who it is.
Who has a Get Like Me? Is that Walker?
Yeah, Walker. That's a pretty good one.
That's a good one.
Parker Bird's got a good one, too.
Parker Bird. Cam Clonch has a good one.
Yep. Yeah, I like Clonch's.
Dixon's is like EDM, like techno music, but it's
pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
It gets the crowd into it.
Yeah.
Well, I think you should go back to the old one.
Really?
Yeah.
Botown to Chispa?
Yeah.
I'll consider it. I'm not going to change what I'm doing right now, but I'll consider it.
You're in a pretty good groove, so maybe later in the season.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it. Again, thanks to you for stopping by, Justin and Carter. Appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. We'll get y'all on again throughout the season. We got to get out of here. We'll talk to Case and Rameli and have our conversation with Cliff Goblin on tomorrow's edition of Hoist the Colors. See you then.
This has been Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo. Tune in weekdays at noon for all things ECU sports. Get a recap of the show at 943thegame.com, on Twitter, Facebook, or anywhere you get your podcasts. We're back tomorrow with more of Hoist the Colors on 943 The Game.
More for your trade. Get new Camrys $269 a month or new RAV4s $299 a month. Save big and get more in 24 at Greenville Toyota.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you farm to fork beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to fork beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Hey, grab me one too.
When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that